The NBA Finals are finally set, man. The playoffs have started, the end of April? We're now at the beginning of June. June 1st, actually, as I record this. The NBA Finals are the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Indiana Pacers. It starts this Thursday night. And I'm excited. I'm a bit sad because the NBA season's almost over, but we have hopefully at least 7 more games of this. I'm hoping this isn't a short series. I think this could be a really, really fun series. And I'm just kind of here to talk about it, give my takes on it, and kind of give you my prediction who I think is going to win. Listen. The fact that the Indiana Pacers are here at this point in time is a bit of a shock to me, and I'm sure to a lot of other people. I think going into this playoff run, I was looking at teams like, obviously, the Cavaliers were so great all season. The Celtics are the reigning champions. You like the way the Knicks were playing. You knew the Knicks had struggles against the top teams, but you're like, listen, this is still a good team. The Bucks have Dame and Giannis, obviously. Yeah, or Dame ends up getting injured. But like you get through kind of a list of teams before you're looking at the Indiana Pacers of, getting back. They were just in the conference championship last year, but a lot of people were like, hey, they went through an injury-riddled playoff run. And I don't really, I guess, sure, but like you can't really, I hate using that against teams because it's like you can only play who's in front of you, and if players are injured, there's nothing you can do. All you want to take advantage if players are injured. That's just what you want to do to win series. But anyway, we have a team in Oklahoma City Thunder that has been the best team in the league pretty much the entire season. The Cavs started off really, really hot, but everybody pretty much knew the Thunder were the heavy favorites coming out of the Western Conference. They handled the Memphis Grizzlies in the first round, went 7 with the Denver Nuggets in the second round, and then handled the Minnesota Timberwolves pretty steadily in the conference finals. And I think they're a pretty heavy favorite. I don't have the stats out in front of me. I don't have the line out in front of me, but I'm going to assume they're heavy favorites to win this series. I think I'm hoping this is, again, like I said, a longer series because the Indiana Pacers have been on such a fun run. If a team like the Indiana Pacers, a lower seed comparative, gets to the NBA Finals, they're doing something well that's getting them there. Now, unfortunately, you see a lot of these times when you have teams go on this run, kind of like the Heat from a couple years back, where it's like they go on this run, but then they hit the best team in the other conference and they just get their ass kicked, like the Heat did with the Denver Nuggets. And I'm hoping that's not quite the case here. Now, it definitely could be. Like, all signs point to OKC pretty much dominating this entire series. They kind of win the matchups all across the board. But I think the Indiana Pacers just have something special going for them that's going to at least give them a chance in this series. The fact of the matter is, the Indiana Pacers have shot 40% from 3 this entire playoff run, which is leading the NBA. They're kind of a fun run and gun style of offense led by Tyrese Halliburton, who's been pretty good. He's had a couple stinkers, but been pretty good this entire playoff run. Pascal Siakam just won Eastern Conference Finals MVP. So, you got the, Obi Toppin can sometimes become a god on the court. Miles Turner's consistent. Andrew Nembhard gets into playoff time and locks in. Aaron Nesmith single-handedly won them a game in New York, or was it in New York? It was against the Knicks. That's all. I can't remember off the top of my head. The Pacers have a lot of role players that can step in and do whatever they need. They can run the court. They can play defense. They can hit threes. And I think that's going to be super important against this Oklahoma City team that has a bunch of defenders. We've talked about it all season. You have Lou Dort. You have Jalen Williams. You have Chet. You have Isaiah Hartenstein. You have Casey Wallace. You have so many, Alex Caruso. I know I'm forgetting more people. Shea's even a good defender. They have one of the best sets, maybe the best set of perimeter defenders in the entire NBA. It's like a perfect matchup of like this run and gun fast offense with not the best defense versus this lockdown defensive unit that has the MVP at the offensive end kind of leading the charge. And again, I would be stupid to tell you that the Pacers are a favorite in this series because frankly, they're not. I would be stupid to expect the Pacers to continue shooting 40% from 3 because this is by far the best defense. By far the best defense they've gone against, because obviously you have the Cavs, who had a really, really good interior defense, but with Garland and Donovan Mitchell at the helm at the backcourt, they're not a great perimeter defense. Obviously the Knicks, they have Mikal Bridges, they have OG Anunoby, you have Josh Hart, but you have guys like Brunson on the court, you have guys like Cat on the court that are not great defenders. And then in the first round against the Milwaukee Bucks, we just know they're not a good defense. They lost Dame. They've not gone up against a great perimeter defense yet, so this is definitely going to be something new for them to go against. They do it all season, I get that, but you just kind of have to expect them to not shoot 40% because I think OKC's defense has only been giving up 33% on opponent threes this postseason run. I think one of the key X factors for the Oklahoma City Thunder is having Jalen Williams have a good, consistent series. He has not been great. He's not been a great three-point shooter. He's been very hit or miss. He has some games where he's on, he's hitting everything, where he's looking like one of the better second options in the league. You have other games where he just is kind of disappearing. They need Jalen Williams to consistently go at Pascal Siakam, go at Benedict Mathurin, go at Miles Turner, and get switches onto the guards and Nembhard and Tyrese Halliburton, and just show that he is the bigger body, the stronger, better player, and get the buckets. He cannot get shut down. If he gets shut down by guys like Pascal Siakam, by guys like Obi Toppin, it's going to be really, really tough for the Thunder to score enough points to keep up with this Pacers team. Because if there's one thing the Pacers have on Oklahoma City Thunder, is just the scoring variety. They have so many different people on their team that can score the ball. And I think they have more options on offense than the Oklahoma City Thunder have on offense. So if this turns into a run and gun shootout type of series, that's where the Pacers can excel and possibly steal the series. You look at it the other end, though, if the Thunder could slow down this series and make this a defensive half-court kind of run series, the Thunder could walk out of here in 5 games because they just have the guys that can shut down anything the Pacers are trying to do. I do think the Pacers also have the advantage with Pascal Siakam because we saw in this last round, Chet and Isaiah Hartenstein couldn't always share the court together. It was a bit clunky, and I think Pascal Siakam's one of those rangy type of fours that can make it hard, and they're going to probably put Isaiah Hartenstein onto the bench. Now, I think they're going to start together, but there's going to be situations where they're going to have to sit down Isaiah Hartenstein because they need to play smaller against Pascal Siakam, and I think getting one of those two bigs off the court is a huge thing for the Pacers to not have to deal with because, you know, getting to the paint against Hartenstein and Chet Holmgren is not, obviously, objectively not an easy thing to do. But if you can make them play smaller ball, have Jalen Williams play more of the 4 spot as well, I think you can really get into a very, very favorable matchup for this Indiana Pacers team. The Pacers are going to need, and I say with a conviction, they're going to need Tyrese Halliburton to continue being aggressive. And I think I've talked about it before on this channel, and there's a stat out there, I don't have it in front of me, but Tyrese Halliburton takes significantly less shots when he misses his first shot of the game. If he goes 0 for 1, he's going to take 4 or 5 less shots a game versus him hitting his first shot. You saw that game 5 against the Knicks, man. He only took like, what, 7 or 8 shots? Like, they cannot have Tyrese Halliburton be that kind of player this series at all. I don't care, Tyrese, if you miss your first shot every single game of this series. You need to continue, come back down the next possession, put up another shot, make that one. You cannot get off to slow starts, and if you do get off to a slow start, you cannot let that affect you the rest of the game. You cannot let that throw you off of your game the rest of the game. You need to continue being aggressive because as good as the role players are for the Indiana Pacers, they don't stack up to the team like Oklahoma City Thunder. They're going to need you to be the point guard, leading the team, dishing the ball out to all of them, and you know, as good of a passer as a guy like Tyrese Halliburton is, you have to also be an offensive threat to really unlock your passing. I know you guys know what I mean, like, if you're a guy, you look at like a Tyus Jones, who's been known as one of the better passing point guards, one of the better passing backup point guards, but he doesn't really have an offensive game, so teams aren't super worried. They're like, oh, he's just going to get down there and pass the ball. As Tyrese Halliburton, you got to have them games where you have 30 points, you get to the basket, you hit your open shots, because like, you need the defense, Oklahoma City defense, to respect you as a scorer that then opens up passing lanes. If they have to throw it 2 bodies at Tyrese Halliburton, he's going to be able to find the open player because there's going to be somebody open. But if he is not scoring the ball, if he's not being aggressive, taking his shots, they'll just send one because they have the perimeter defenders. The Oklahoma City Thunder have the perimeter defenders to just send one at you and hey, you know, we're going to put Lou Dort on you. We're going to put Alex Caruso on you. And listen, you're not going to be able to get by him. Like, you're not taking your shots. So you can just play man on man everywhere else because you're not really, all you want to do is pass the ball. You know, does that make, you get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? He's got to be aggressive. He cannot let the offense get stale. And that's going to be huge against this team. And kind of piggybacking off of what I said earlier about Jalen Williams, Shai has the ability and is going to carry the offense. We know at the end of the day, the offense of the Oklahoma City Thunder falls back on Shai getting his 30-plus points per game, getting to the free throw line. That's just how their offense runs. But they're going to need him to be able to be a good enough playmaker to kind of, in the same sense, what I'm saying about Tyrese Halliburton, where it's like, you need to be so good, but kind of in the opposite, I guess. Where I'm saying with Tyrese Halliburton is, you want to be able to score, be so much of an offensive threat that it opens up your passing. But I think for Shai, you want to be such an offensive threat that it opens up, or I guess it's the same thing. Or maybe, no, you want to be more of a passing threat that you could open up your offense. They're going to throw multiple bodies at Shai. It is what it is. You have to rely on your teammates to hit their wide open shots. You're just going to have to, again, Jalen Williams to be good this series. But you also got to be able to trust your teammates. You can't have Shai have a series where he takes 30-plus shots per game and the next guy's getting 10 or 12 shots. Like, that's not going to be able to work against this Indiana Pacers team because they're going to get hot and they're going to hit their shots. Shea has got to be able to trust his teammates to hit their shots. And if he's able to open up his passing game, I think it's going to be too much for this Pacers defense to handle because the Pacers just objectively aren't a great defense. Now, they've been a lot better, especially since the playoffs started. They've been a good defense, so I don't want to take that away from them. But I do think you have to commit multiple bodies to Shea at all times. If you're getting a big series from Jalen Williams, if you're getting Alex Caruso hitting his open threes, if you're getting Isaiah Joe stepping in and hitting threes, you're getting Chet to hit his threes, I think it just might be too much for the Pacers to handle. So I think, if I'm going to give my prediction on this series, I'm gonna say Thunder in 6. Again, I'm hoping it goes 7, but I do think it's going to be 6. I do think the Pacers are going to steal one of the first 2 games in Oklahoma City, and then they're gonna win one more game at home. But I do think ultimately the Thunder walk out here in 6 games, and Shea is a champion. Now, what does that rank Shea in Thunder history? You have an MVP, you have a championship. I'm just saying it's got to be top 5, right? I mean, it's got to be, right? It's got to be like Westbrook, not in order, but like Westbrook, Kevin Durant. Shea's got to be pretty much in there. I don't know. That's up to you, Thunder fans, not me.